In Matthew chapter 13 is where we have Jesus teaching in parables, most significantly in Matthew's gospel. And we hear a number of parables in that chapter. The parable of the sower, the parable of the weeds and the wheat. And these parables are being spoken to the great crowds that are coming to hear Jesus. And so today and in the days to come, I'm going to be just quickly unpacking, if you will, some insight into a number of these briefer, short parables, many of which are just one verse, some are just two. And we start today in Matthew chapter 13 in verses 31 and 32. He put before them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that someone took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it has grown, it is the greatest of shrubs and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches. Now, I need to begin by telling you, I can't grow anything in the ground. So I am not an expert when it comes to growing herbs. All right, so let's just begin with that. But Jesus tells you what you need to know. A mustard seed is very, very small, but it can grow into a large-sized plant. Now, when he says it can grow into a tree and that the birds come and make their nests in it, that sounds a little bit like a stretch. Google online photo of a mustard plant and see if you find one that looks big enough for birds to build nests in their branches. What is Jesus saying at this point? Well, at this point in Matthew's gospel, Jesus' work is still very, very small. It's like a mustard seed. Outside of Galilee, it's almost imperceptible. Who's heard of this guy from Nazareth? He's got a following that's growing, but we're at the beginning of the kingdom movement. We're at the beginning of the way of Jesus, if you will. So right now, it looks like a tiny little mustard seed. And what Jesus is telling everyone who is listening is that the kingdom of heaven, it has very small, almost imperceptible beginnings, but the end result is going to be far out of proportion to that small beginning. And so often in your life and in mine, it's doing small things and giving them time that can build into something being large and successful. It could be like, I want to knit so many minutes a day, or I want to walk so many steps in a day, or any sort of goal that you have for yourself. I want to read in my Bible 15 minutes a day. Little things, small beginnings, done frequently and repetitively can build and become much more large and successful in terms of a habit and an impact in your life. So it is with the kingdom of heaven. It's starting very small with Jesus and his disciples, but God is in it. And the result, 2,000 years later, is far greater than they ever could have imagined.